On January 10, 2025, American history was made. Former and future President Donald Trump stood in a Manhattan courtroom facing a judge as a convicted felon. Just days before his planned inauguration for a second term, Trump was sentenced in the highly publicized hush money case. The charges stemmed from his alleged involvement in payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels during the 2016 presidential campaign. Despite the guilty verdict on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, Judge Juan Merchan handed down an unconditional discharge. This meant that Trump would face no prison time, fines, or probation. The courtroom was filled with a palpable tension as the verdict was read. Trump, known for his fiery demeanor, remained stoic, his face betraying little emotion. The unprecedented nature of the situation, a former and soon-to-be president convicted of a crime, sent shockwaves across the nation. The news dominated headlines, sparking intense debates about justice, accountability, and the future of American democracy. The hush money case, which had plagued Trump for years, finally reached its conclusion. It was a case that had divided the nation, with supporters dismissing it as a politically motivated witch hunt, and critics demanding accountability for what they saw as a blatant abuse of power. The verdict, while historic, did little to bridge this divide. If anything, it seemed to further entrench both sides in their convictions, leaving the nation grappling with uncertainty as Trump prepared to re-enter the Oval Office under the shadow of a criminal conviction. At the heart of the hush money case were allegations that Trump had directed his former lawyer Michael Cohen to make payments to Stormy Daniels. These payments were intended to prevent Daniels from going public with allegations of an affair with Trump, a claim he has consistently denied. The prosecution argued that these payments, made in the final weeks of the 2016 campaign, violated campaign finance laws. They contended that the money disguised as legal expenses constituted illegal campaign contributions aimed at influencing the election's outcome. The prosecution presented evidence, including financial records and testimony from key witnesses, to support their claims. They argued that Trump's actions were a deliberate attempt to circumvent campaign finance regulations and gain an unfair advantage in the election. The defense, however, maintained Trump's innocence throughout the trial. They argued that the payments were personal in nature, made to protect Trump's family from false allegations, and had nothing to do with the campaign. The jury ultimately sided with the prosecution, finding Trump guilty on all 34 counts. The verdict sent shockwaves through the legal and political landscape. It marked the first time in American history that a president, past or present, had been convicted of a crime. The verdict was seen by many as a significant blow to Trump and his legacy, raising serious questions about his fitness for office and the future of his political career. Despite the guilty verdict, Judge Juan Merchan's decision to issue an unconditional discharge sparked controversy. This meant that Trump would face no tangible consequences for his actions. No prison time, no fines, no probation. This leniency, especially in light of the seriousness of the charges, left many questioning the judge's rationale. Legal experts weighed in, offering various interpretations of the sentence. Some legal analysts suggested that Judge Merchan might have considered the unprecedented nature of the case. Never before had a former and incoming president faced criminal charges. The weight of history, the potential for further political division, might have factored into the judge's decision. Others pointed to Trump's age and lack of prior criminal record as possible mitigating factors. However, the lack of any punishment drew sharp criticism from those who believed Trump should be held accountable for his actions. Critics argued that the sentence set a dangerous precedent, suggesting that powerful individuals could act with impunity. They contended that the absence of consequences undermined the rule of law and eroded public trust in the justice system. The verdict and the subsequent sentence ignited a firestorm of reactions. Protests erupted in cities across the country, with demonstrators expressing their outrage at what they perceived as a miscarriage of justice. "No one is above the law" became a rallying cry, reflecting the sentiment that the verdict, while historic, rang hollow without any real consequences for Trump. Social media platforms were abuzz with heated debates, further highlighting the deep divisions within American society. The political fallout was immediate and intense. Democrats, while acknowledging the historic nature of the verdict, expressed disappointment over the lack of punishment. They called for stricter ethics reforms and campaign finance laws to prevent similar abuses of power in the future. Republicans, on the other hand, largely dismissed the verdict as a politically motivated attack on Trump. They accused the prosecution of being biased and vowed to investigate the case further. The verdict cast a long shadow over Trump's impending second term. Although he had secured re-election, the cloud of a criminal conviction loomed large. The legal battles were far from over. Trump vowed to appeal the verdict, potentially taking the case all the way to the Supreme Court. The outcome of these appeals remained uncertain, adding another layer of complexity to an already tumultuous political landscape.